Hi, I'm Ramin Zamani, creator of the Pageli app, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Pageli to build a responsive landing page without writing a single line of code. Let me start by showing you an example of a landing page that I built with Pageli. This is a webinar registration page that I have created for one of our webinars, Mindfire. Mindfire is a software company in Southern California where I head up the marketing team. You see, this is a pretty nice layout. It has the webinar key details, the speaker's headshot and information, a brief description of the webinar itself with the key takeaways, and of course, a registration form. With Pageli, you can create this page in just a few minutes, and you can edit and change the layout of the page by just simply dragging and moving the columns or rows to create the layout that you like. You can also change the look and feel by selecting from several available beautifully designed themes. So I select this one. If I don't like it, I come back here, I select this one. But what I think is most important is that every page or email built with Pageli comes with a responsive, mobile-friendly layout. Meaning when your customer or prospects visit your landing page from their cell phone or tablet, the page automatically detects the screen size and adjusts its layout to present the best user experience for your users. This is critical for the success of your campaign, and I'm sure you have already seen a ton of examples of poorly designed emails and landing pages that you cannot even read, much less respond to. Pageli helps you avoid these mistakes and makes your emails and landing pages look just awesome on any device. Okay, now let's dive in and see how you can build a landing page using Pageli. This is the landing page that I'm going to show you how to build. This is a simple lead generation page where you can capture leads information by offering a piece of content. In this case, this is an ebook, a case study for one of our campaigns, and people come to landing page, submit the form, and they can download the form. And I'm going to show you how to build this with Pageli. When you first log into Pageli, you are greeted with this welcome page. You can start by creating a form, a landing page, or an email, or you can come here up to this menu to see your existing forms, landing pages, and emails. This page has a form, and I'm going to start with a form. So I'm going to name this download form 1 and hit the create a new form button. And now I'm in the form builder. I can now drag and drop the form fields from the side menu to my form container. The side menu contains different parts, different elements for building a form. The form fields, the components like button or a line, and a rich text editor. When I drag the element to the form container, I can click on this little edit menu. It opens the editing tab, and I can start editing my form field by giving it the label and the name. The name is very important. The name is an attribute for the input tag for the form that captures the information that the user enters to the form field. So it's important to make sure that each form field has the appropriate name. Here I used the first name with no spaces in between because I know in the application that I use Mindfire Studio to build my campaigns, this is what that application is using to save the entered data into the database. You can also add a placeholder. If you want to pre-populate the form, you can add a value, a default value here. Many marketing automation software such as Mindfire Studio allows you to do that. You can just add pound first name pound. This is the code for the variable used in this application, and by entering it as a value, it makes the form pre-populated when visited on a personalized landing page. I'm going to leave this blank for now. You can change the size and you can make it required if you want. You can also choose different types: text, email, phone. These are the modern HTML type attributes for the input tag. I leave it as text, but if you change it to date, for example, in the modern browser, it will show a date picker. You hit save and you have your form filled. You can do the same but for creating last name. Don't forget the name attribute. I make it required, like the small form. Hit save. And then what else did we have? Email. Email is also required. Save, and then I use phone. Make it small, save it. I forgot to make it required. You don't have to, it depends on what you want to do. And then I think it was company or organization, which is stored as the company. So the name doesn't necessarily have to match the label. Label is what is shown here for the form field. Name is what is actually writing the data entered into the database. And I save it. Let me take a look at the page. So first name, last name, email address, phone, organization. And as you can see here, there is a question. Select the type of your organization, and it has 3 options. So it's a radio because we can select only one of those. So I come here and select the radio. And similar to the other fields, I can edit. Select your organization type. I'm just abbreviating it, and then I call it organization type. I don't make it required, and here I can add the option a university. I'm just making this up, an agency, and say other. Now you can add more options or delete them, other. And you can also change how they are presented. You can choose inline. To make it look like that one, I come back here, I save. And one other thing that you can do is that, let's say you want to have the phone on the top, so you can just easily drag and drop on the top, or the organization on the top, or any questions that you want. So here I want to have the email and the phone. And then the last thing is I need a submit button, so I drag the button. Again, I can edit the button. I want to say download now. I want it to be block, meaning a big one. And you can choose different color modes. I go with warning is orange in my team, so I select warning. I save it, and when I save changes, I have my form, which, as you remember, I saved as download form 1. Okay, now that we have completed our form, let's go to the landing pages to create our landing page. I hit the create a new landing page button and give it a name, download page 1. Create a blank page. Again, now this time I'm on my landing page builder and I have a container. Similarly, again, I have my elements for building my landing page on the site nav. Can open and close this to give you more room, and you can select from different components, forms, contents, and layouts. For the layouts, I have The most common layouts for building landing page are already built in for me. On this page at the top, I had a header, so I add a full 12 grid wide column, and I had underneath I have a 2-column layout with a form smaller than the main content area, so I drag and drop 2-column 8-4. So to add the content on the top, I drag a rich text editor. I'm not going to type things, but here I can just go back here and grab these two, copy and paste, center align them. This one probably was an H2 tag, yeah. This was italics, H3 or H4 maybe. And to add the logos up there, I click on this little image button. Let me go grab you have to host your images, your assets somewhere like an S3 in Amazon or a Dropbox with public access. I have them here, so I just copy the image URL, come back here and paste it here. And I have 2 logos, so I add them both. Okay, now my header is done. And for my main content, again, I copy the URL of the image that I want to add. This time I add an image because it's a big image. I put it here. Because the page is responsive, I don't necessarily need to add the width, but I can do this if I choose so. I can also add the style, which makes it a thumbnail or with rounded corners or a circle. I'm just going to leave it as is. You can also add an alt text, ebook, case study, which is a good practice because sometimes when the images doesn't show, this alternative text is what is showing instead. I hit save. I have my image here. And to add the content, again, I add my content. We go grab this, Control C, hit edit, and this one was bold. Let's add a space, save, and I have it here. Now, the very useful and interesting part is the forms, because the form, remember, we created the download form, and that form automatically appears when we save it in this menu under all my forms. I can use this form by just dragging and dropping it here to its container, or I can choose a different form, any form that I have already built. So this gives a lot of flexibility in designing your landing pages. If you want to do A/B testing with different elements of the page, or you want to just make a small modification, you can do so by just reusing the forms that you have already created. This is a very good way of saving time and being more productive. Okay, I just need to hit save changes now, and my landing page is ready. Again, I can change the theme to whatever I like. If I like a darker theme, I can use a darker theme. I use this theme for our campaign, so this is what I'm going to do with. So my landing page is now ready, but how am I going to use this in my campaign? Well, that's simple. You just click here on the download source button, and the HTML of the page, the clean responsive code is available to you. You can just select, copy, and paste it into your application. And it shows as perfect as you can see here. It is responsive and ready to use. All right, so now you know that Pageli is a web application for building mobile-friendly emails, forms, and landing pages. If you are a business owner, a marketer, or a marketing service provider responsible for creating these campaigns, you should make sure that your campaigns create the best user experience for your customers and prospects. So go to pagely.com and sign up for a free account yourself. Pagely helps you and your team be more productive and create marketing campaigns that are responsive by default. Sign up for a free account and try it to see for yourself.